Hi everyone, my name is Johnny Milisundra, and by using limited colors in my palette, I am going to teach you on how to paint this wonderful painting. And please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet.
Before I'm going to start the tutorial, I'm going to introduce to you first the materials that I'm going to use. So I still be using limited colors my palette, and I have here the titanium white, the hollow blue, the brilliant red, the medium yellow, and the raw umber. So I'm using limited colors because I want you to learn how to mix and get the desired colors you want. Okay, and these are the possible brushes. I'll just use 3 brushes today because I'll just demonstrate a very easy tutorial for the beginners and also for the intermediate artists. And I have here the number 12 nylon flat brush, long handle, number 8 nylon flat brush, long handle, and I have also number 7 nylon flat brush, short handle. Okay, so these are just the possible brushes. And this is my canvas. It's 8 by 10 inches. It's a 3/4 of prime white acrylic with a gesso. I made it myself, and water to thin the paint. And if we're going to wet our canvas, we need this water spray. Okay. So today everyone, I'm going to teach you on how to paint a very basic tutorial for beginners and also for the intermediate artist. And I am going to demonstrate on how to paint shadows, highlights, and also textures. And I'm going to use some basic forms like rocks on a pathway or something like that. And I'm going to put shadows in it with a very extreme sunlight, yellow lights, or something like that. Okay, so I'm gonna start now, and let's do first the sketching. So I'll be using the number, oh sorry guys, sorry everyone, I was using this raw umber. The kids outside are really noisy. Sorry about that. Okay, I'll be using some white. I'm adding some white on the raw umber to make it lighter so that the sketch will be lighter and it will be easier for me to cover with other paints. That's why I'm using lighter paint, lighter colors. You can also use pencils if you have, um, if you feel comfortable with using that tool. Okay, so here I have a lighter color, and I'm gonna put a huge rock here, another rock here. I think just 2 rocks, and there will be a shadow here because I'm gonna put light coming from the left side. Here, this part will be bright enough. Okay, so I'm gonna put the light coming from the left side here, and I'm gonna make this in an afternoon scene like 3 p.m. or 4 or 5 or 5, maybe 5, 4:30, because the light becomes a little yellowish on the time, and I'm gonna like the color of the light. So here I'm going to create a little form of the rock. It will be the rock will be cut into a little half. There. I'm gonna put a little solid rock here. Okay, there you go. Next, we're gonna create some shadows first. I'm gonna use the darker tones. So here, this part will be shaded with dark colors. So let's create some shades first here. I think we're gonna need to use the spray so that it will be easier for us to blend. Okay, so this part should be the highlights here, so we should remember that. So here, and this part will be the shade or the shadows or dark or the shaded part here. And this is the casted shadow. Sorry everyone, the kids outside, it's really noisy. They're playing outside, I'm not sure. Yeah, so here. So let's darken this part first. There you go. And let's create some form of our rock, and let's make this a little shade, or let's put some shadow here. There, and also here. Sorry everyone, the kids are really noisy. Okay, there. Okay, so I think I'm gonna use a bigger brush now. I'm gonna start adding some more shades outside here. So I'll be using yellow, red, and the raw umber with more white. There. I want it to be a little greenish, so I'm gonna use blue color with some yellow. I just want to make this part a little abstract, or maybe I'll just put some shades on this part here. Yeah, maybe. So I think I'm gonna use a darker color. There. Also, we need to put some highlights here. It's a combination of colors, of shades. There. Okay, so as you can see in our demonstration, this part should be dark here, and this part will be the highlights. I'm gonna do a little light here and here. Okay, now I'll be cleaning my brush, and I'll be using more yellow color with some red and some raw umber. I'm gonna mix it with white, more red and yellow. It should be a little orange since we are painting a little afternoon scene, so I'm gonna use this as the highlight. And also here, and also in the pathway. I also want to show you to create textures on your painting without using any um, materials for creating textures like gesso or acrylic gels. So we're not gonna use that this time. We're just making we will make great textures by just using pure paints or purely skills. That's what I call it. So here we can now see the light very clear. Okay, and now I'm gonna use this color, the raw umber and the white. So we're gonna filling this part with a little grayish color. It is very important, everyone, to remember that to distinguish between the highlights and the shades, especially the shades with some reflected lights on it, like bouncing light or diffuse reflections. This one will be a little there will be a little diffuse reflections here from the pathway, so it will transmit light through here. It will become a little lighter on this part. Also, this part will also transmit light here. So this will be a little lit or light or lighter. So we need to distinguish the color on this one between the highlights. That's why we need to, so in able to do that, we need to make this part, the color of this part will become a little warmer or warm. On this part will be cold. The color will be a little cold. That's why I'm using a grayish color, or we're gonna mix later with a little bluish tone to make this part look cold. And also this part here. So that's how we're gonna distinguish between the light from the direct sunlight and the diffuse light or the bouncing light. Okay. So I hope everyone understand what I'm talking about. I'm not really good at explaining everyone, so I apologize if ever some of you really don't understand my accent, but I am really doing my best just to make sure that you understand. Okay, here I'm going to create a lighter color using adding some white to the raw umber to make it a lighter gray color here, just to separate it from the warm color of the sunlight. Okay, and this part we add a little shades. There. Not just shades, but we also need to create texture. That's why we need to make it a little abstract, or we need to emphasize the textures of our rock. Do not make it too clean or do not blend it well. Just create the textures on your using the brush. There. So I'm gonna make this part dark, and this part will be lighter. So I'm gonna add some white there, because we are going to put light color because it will be the diffuse reflection coming from this part, the part on the pathway, so it will be reflected on this part and it will become a little lit or lighter. Okay. This is how I actually create some realistic painting without having any reference. You can also use some reference if you want to, because this type of technique, we are really bound for some mistakes. So we always need to be careful, and not every time we can create a very perfect realistic figures or objects. And also on the upper part, we need also to create some highlights. There. Okay. There. So you can now see some highlights and shades. There. And also I'm going to make the color of the pathway a little different from the rock. So I'll make it a little reddish or pinkish. So I'm gonna add some more red and white. Really lots of white, plenty of white. Just to differentiate the two colors. I think I'm gonna make that a little darker. I'm gonna add more yellow and red. And also we need to create some textures on the pathway. Later we're gonna need to put some rocks there, and here also. Here. Okay. It's still too wet. That's why you're having a hard time mixing two colors. There. Now I'll be using a smaller brush. It is this brush, number 7 toothbrush, short handle, and we're going to put more textures on our rock. So we're now making textures. So here I'm going to create some some edges. There. And also here. And also put some textures here on our rock. Just create random dark tones. And also you need to put other lights, other colors. So I'm gonna use some more orange, red and yellow. Just put it here randomly. More orange. I'm gonna put it on the edge of this rock. Okay, and also here. Okay, we just have to put plenty of textures here. There you go. And I'm gonna put some plain white just to add more highlights for this rock. There. Okay. So here we're gonna create more textures using the light. Okay, do not overdo it. Let's remember that. Okay, as you can see, they are really great textures. Now I'm gonna mix for browns. I'm gonna use this raw umber, mix it with red and yellow, of course. So this will be a darker browns. There. There. And also here. Okay. And then we're going to put some greenish color. So I'm gonna use the blue and the yellow. The greenish tone. Not just green but also blue. Bluish. There. Okay, now I'm gonna use some more blue and white. Blue and white. Just like a dirty blue, everyone. Just use the dirty blue. And we're gonna create some bluish tone. Just mix it on the existing color. It will become a little grayish. There. More blue here. And also on the color of the pathway, you're gonna make this bluish. The reflected color or the casted shadow. There. And here also. That's it. Now I'll be using some orange color. So here I'm gonna use this orange and white, a little red. I'm gonna make it pinkish. Because I'm gonna make the reflected reflected lights a little reddish here. There should be also some colors. The original colors will also show up a little. Here. And of course also here. That's it. Okay. And also on this part, it should be a little different from the highlights. That's why I'm adding red to make it pinkish or pink. There. And also on this part here. Okay. About that. So you can now see clearly the textures of our rock. Okay, so next I will be adding more cracks on the rock. So here I think I'm gonna add cracks here. Okay, and apart from that I also need to put here there. And also here. Okay, just to make this realistic. Okay. And also here we need to put some small cracks. And also we need to put more dark shades on the bottom between the pathway. Okay. So here we're gonna need to put. Okay. some darker shade or casted shadow. And then gonna add more emphasis of the textures. Oh no, on the cracks. So I'm gonna add some white with the color here. So here I'm gonna create, okay, texture or details here. So since these are cracks, we're gonna put also details on the cracks a little, and a little lighter color. Also need to emphasize this part. Let's make it a crack. There. Then I'm gonna add more white and yellow. Let us create more realistic effect. Okay, there, that looks pretty amazing and looks realistic. Nice. Okay, let's make it more realistic, not just realistic. So I'm using some bluish color here, and we can create a little highlights on the top. So everyone, by the way, I don't have any no reference photo for this one, so we are doing some trial and error method. So that's also I want you to do. Do your best to make it as realistic as possible using the trial and error method. There. Okay. Then I'm gonna use more darker tones, darker shades here. I'm gonna make this part darker. Just to make this flat, part a little flat. Okay. There. Anyway, this looks pretty amazing and realistic. Now I'm going to add some shadows on the pathway to make it look, sorry everyone, realistic. Here I'm gonna put some shadows. Just do this way here. Just do it this way. There. I think I'm gonna put a small rock here. Yeah, maybe. some darker tone. And then the casted shadow. There. It looks pretty amazing and realistic. Okay, I'm gonna add some the highlights here on the top. There. And also the other rock. Just use a lighter color. You can actually use some white. There. And then you're gonna create some plenty of rocks using some colors also. Just create, just put some dots or small dots on your pathway like this to create textures. Okay, and also here. Okay. Wow. So far it really looks pretty amazing and realistic. Okay. Then I'm going to continue. I'm gonna use a bigger brush, this number 8 flat brush. Then I'm gonna add more bluish tone on the ground here. I'm gonna create more bluish. And also here. Not just bluish but also browns. There. So just make it look like an abstract. Create as much as textures as you put there. Okay. Then I'm going also to put, I'm gonna use this bluish color again, and I'm gonna put some casted shadow, like there's a tree on this part. There. I'm gonna put more shadows on the other parts, shadows or whatever. So here I'm gonna make it darker. just to emphasize this part. Not just there, but also here. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's really nice. So it looks pretty impressionistic. And here I'm gonna add more shades. Okay, I think I am done, everyone. So we can actually improve this part here, but for now I'm contented with the lesson. And yeah, that's how you're gonna create realistic rocks, using the technique of adding some adding some cascade highlights, or bouncing lights, or diffuse highlights on the shaded part, like this part here. It will always look lighter than shadows, compared to the shadows. And make sure that you separate the color here from here. The highlight should be always look warm compared to the shadow, it is cold. And this part is a little warm because of the reflection coming from the pathway. Okay, and also here it will always reflect some shadow here, or bouncing light. No, not shadow, but highlights or light here. Okay, so that's a simple demonstration for you to know on how to create your own realistic shadows and highlights using the law of nature. Actually, this is a law of nature, everyone. So we always need to follow the law of nature in order to create realistic objects. Okay, so I want to say thanks everyone for watching this video today, and I hope you get something out of this. You learn something and you can apply it on your own. You can paint your own realistic landscape painting, and even any kinds of realism. You can do it on your way. Okay, thank you. Please hit like, add some comments, subscribe for more videos in the future. And if you are painting with me, just follow what I'm doing and just have fun painting. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day, and God bless you all. All the glory and honor and praises always belongs to the Lord.